Two bears. Two bears. Yeah, we're just gonna cut that, I think. I don't know. What are these? Where are my stories? Where are my stories? Curly, where are they? And it's so much fun living in the down. No, 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 not there. There, not there. But there, for Christ's sake, Hurley. Thank you. Jesus. Briars. Briars. All right. I think we can close all of this stuff out. Because it's almost fun living in the dark. Am I a goofy guy, Andrew? Oh, I always forget, and then I see your last name. I always forget until I see your last name. One kill. Okay, one key. Okaneki. Okaneki. E. Two eyes at the end? I don't know how to say that. Okoneki. Is it okay one key? Like Dragon Ball? That's KI. I think. I don't know. I'm not up to date on my Japanese, as it were. Stop hitting that button, dude. Stop hitting that button. Time is it 10:45. All right, we gotta get this. Gonna make you sweat. Sweat. When the rhythm that control. Not the button you want. You said it to yourself 17 fucking times. Hi, Dahlia. Hi, Dahlia. What's the number I'm calling in? Andrew, I don't have the phone hooked up right now. Text. I get you on speakerphone on my phone. You call it. Go ahead. I don't care. It's 402 302 1005, but I'm not taking that phone call right this second. I got to start the show. Give me a second. This is so much fun living in the dark. Yeah, dog. Yeah. Are we ready? I'm going to start this thing. Might as well, because I got to get out of here. Son of a bitch. Come on. This is dry. You're a dry erase. Dry erase. Hashtag. Oh my God, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? TU 2 BARS. Episode 024. All right. Because I got some time constraints. I'm under. This used to be a radio show. Presents That's Just Nelson. Episode. Episode 24. Stupid.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh no!
the show is about to start.
Okay.
It's Nelson time. It's Nelson time. It's Nelson. It's Nelson time. Oh, if you want to know what's going on, it's Nelson time, yeah. It's Nelson. It's Nelson time. Oh, yeah.
That's just Nelson.
Yeah, I see his short stack. He's in on YouTube because we broadcast the show live Sunday through Thursday nights. If you follow me on social media, it's at That's Just Nelson. You'll see it come up. You'll get your little alerts. I think there might be a bell you can ring. I don't know. Only been broadcasting for 20 years. What do I know? He's still under construction. That's just Nelson.com. 402-302. 1005, how you can get a hold of us. Here at the show. And, of course, if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, could you maybe just rate the show? 5-star would be great, but just put a rating in. It's all news is good news in that regard. Go ahead. If you don't like it, then write it poorly. And then that'll get people talking, okay? And that's exactly what we're trying to do. Yeah, it sounds like I'm the only one talking. It's because I'm full of myself. Yeah. Of course I am. I named a show after myself, and now I host it. The show for a very small, so far, but explosive fan base. I'm loving to see the growth of the show already because I can see over the different episodes, listenership. I can judge it on interactions that happens on the live, of course, because we host the show live, an uncensored version of the show live every night, Monday through Friday, or Sunday through Thursday. And then Monday through Friday, you get your episode. Like after I recorded yesterday's episode, I had to go save someone's life. I had to go save someone's life on a couple of levels. Like, I witnessed yesterday a full-on breakdown in the middle of the street. And when I say yesterday, I mean like 11:45 at night. Maybe even after that. I mean, it might have been after midnight. Ramona checking in on TikTok. Yeah, we broadcast live there too. And that's just Nelson. I had to go over to my ex-wife's house last night because there's some stuff I needed to pick up and I needed it for the day, right? And so after the release of the show, then I went over there, and the part of Omaha that she lives in is a little bit on the north side, and you turn onto her street off of a major street. I'm not going to tell you where my ex-wife lives. So you turn off of a major street. But then to get back out and you want to go a different direction, then you got to do the drive up the street and do a U-E because there's a median. Well, as I'm leaving her place with my stuff, I see the median, and down the street, there is a woman who is standing in one lane and her car is in the other lane and the flashers are on. I go, oh my God, what is happening right now? What is that? We're not that deep into the weird parts of Omaha at this point where I'm at. So I flip my little U-E, and I come over, and luckily there's a left-hand turn lane in that median. So I stop, and I'm like, hey, do you need some help? This woman is heave crying as she's trying to explain to me what happened. And then possum, and then the babies, and I had to come back and check. I go, you've got to slow way down. We got to put the. I wish I would have thought of that ahead of time to have like a squealing tire sound effect because God Almighty, you definitely need to. Don't apply that. Yeah, pause yourself. Oh my God, lady, you gotta stop. Okay, you gotta stop. Now she's smoking, and I'm not 100% sure that it wasn't a blunt in her hand. I'm not going into that. I'm not going into why I did or would or wouldn't call because I'm not a narc. Okay, that's why. I'm almost certain she had a blunt in her hand. She wasn't smoking a Swisher. If she was. Here's the deal. Here's how I know she wasn't smoking a Swisher, just to smoke a Swisher for the love of it, because she was crying over a possum she had hit. No woman who's taken down a unfiltered Swisher Sweet for the hell of it gives one damn about a possum she just hit. Because she's smoking that with the windows up. She's hotboxing tobacco. Okay, so I'm almost certain she was smoking a blunt. Adam on TikTok says, man, it's a plant, like coke and heroin. Which is all true. To a degree, it is all true, yes. This is what it ended up being. This is where we land on it, is she hit a possum, but she is door dashing right now, or Uber Eatsing, or I think she's door dashing. So she's door dashing at the moment, and so she had to complete her run. Then she logged off of DoorDash and drove back from wherever the hell she delivered the last thing to, this major street in Omaha, parks her car, and then was like, I don't know, talking to herself about how she was going to get the stupid thing off the ground. I go, just chill. The reason she came back was less because of the dead possum. She came back because she didn't know if it had babies. That's what she was crying. It's a poor thing. I'm not laughing at her for crying. I'm just laughing at the situation. But I'm kind of laughing at her for crying. Just cry. I'm just heave crying. Because she was like, I don't know if it's got babies. She came back. Adam on TikTok, he asked, are you in Alabama? Because DoorDash roadkill sounds yummy. Oh, that's not where I saw that. That's not where I saw that comment going. No, but we have discovered recently that 50% of my audience hails from Atlanta, Georgia. Yes, Hotlanta. Shout out to all you in Georgia coming through big, commenting on the show the other day. Appreciate you on that one. But yeah, she's crying because she's all bent out of shape about babies. But she's also happy because she doesn't see any babies. She's like, well, the babies would have just stayed there, which I don't know if they would. I guess they probably would have, right? Because the babies hold on to the mom. Also, I think she might have been checking it for nuts. Like, I don't think she knew whether or not it was a lady possum. And so I think she was lifting up the tail and checking for a matched set. So I get there and I'm like, all right, let me take care of this possum. Don't worry. I'll take care of the possum. Okay? Yeah, hero. Da, 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 da. Let me take care of the possum. She goes, thank you. She hands me the bundled up Hy-Vee sack, little plastic grocery bag sack, to me. And that's what she was going to try and pick up, this like 11-pound possum. When I tell you this possum was bigger than a small dog, this possum had heft to it. It was what do you call that, 14 inches long? Guys in measurements, not that great. From stud to stud, that's 16 inches. I bet you could fit it perfectly in between two studs. It was that long, 16 plus inches, okay? And then thick boy, thick. I didn't check it for nuts. So I don't know if it's a girl but they were thick with 2 C's. They them. This possum, as I'm walking up to it, finally something like triggers in my brain that's like beneficial to me. Because just as I'm walking up to it, I go, hey, you're sure this thing is dead, right? Like you hit this a while ago. You're not messing with me. Like you just hit it. And now it's like, because these guys are famous for that. She said, no, it's really look. And it's in a pool of its own. It's in a pool of Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? As I tell my kids, it's a sleepy. I tell all animals are. When you see roadkill, I tell my kids, "Oh, there's a sleepy deer." You know, because I want to take the sting out of it. Because my daughter has a tender heart and she really gets bent out of shape about dead animals. She gets that from her mother. Like I used to get in trouble if I like played a video game where an animal got hurt when we were married. So she's that one. She's the one that can watch. My ex-wife is the type, and I'm sure there are a lot of you out there that can watch the filthiest gore. And I don't mean like I don't mean sexy naughty. I mean just like this Saw on steroids or like Hostel, right? And just be like, do, 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 do. That's a thing that happens to people, but kick one dog. And all of a sudden she's writing a letter to Warner Brothers and she's going to drive to somebody's house. Like, where are you going? Sit down. So I say that. I say, oh, look, that's a very sleepy deer. And then Penelope, she's gotten older. She goes, Dad, I know you're just saying that to mess with me, but it still works because she stops getting all emotional about it. But my favorite is when the animal, this is a weird way to say it. My favorite is when the animal is in a couple of pieces. Because then I'll say, whoa, that deer was really sleepy. And she's like, Dad, it's in 2 parts. I go, I know, he's tired, huh? Man, he's going to feel real good when he wakes up. Oh, he's sleeping hard. So, yeah, I saved the lady. And then luckily, once again, I had a Jesus intervention because I put it into, I had a trash bag. So I used the grocery bag to put the possum into the trash bag. And then I put that trash bag into my trunk. And then I didn't throw it away until this afternoon. So it was luckily just as I was pulling into the damn driveway, I go, oh my God, there's a possum. And of course, once again, I'm worried now. I never really checked it. Is it dead? Because if this thing is just pissed and sitting in my hot trunk and it had to claw itself out of a plastic bag, I'm going to be heated. All right. If I get rabies saving some woman from getting herself a damn DUI, smoking a blunt, killing animals in the middle of the road, that'd be par for the course. I feel like that would be 100% what's supposed to happen with my life, honestly. All the crap I've survived, that'll be the one. That'll be the one that gets me. I got a new tattoo today. What? Yeah, buddy, I got a tattoo. If you're on the cams, if you're a part of the live broadcast that we do every night, you can already see it ahead of time, but I'll post some pictures about it too. But I got a tattoo that everyone's going to say looks like a dick. I already know it. Like, I can't get a good angle on it. It's in my arm. Stand up so the camera can see it. The way that it's intended. It's not a dick. I know I'm never going to end. That's never going to die. It's a cat paw. Think like a rabbit's foot, okay? So, both of my cats have had to be put down in the last, well, now it's a little over a year. Zelda was actually my younger cat. She was almost 15, or she was 15, 2008 to 2024, so she was 16? Not quite 16 yet. So she was 15 and a half. And she just started having seizures, and she had to be put down. Now, I don't have a tattoo for Zelda. And that's not shade on Zelda. Zelda was my cat. It was given to me by my mother, but Zelda also was my ex-wife's cat. You know what I mean? Like, that was her cat. They were buddies, all that stuff. Towards the last couple of years, obviously, when my ex-wife moved out and I kept the cats, then the cat fell in love with me. But I think the cat knew something was up a little ahead of time because she started kicking it with me like several months before my ex-wife left. So shout out to her. You know what am I saying? Like, I need him all sweet Zelda. Zelda had to be put down. I've had Samus longer. Like, Samus was a cat I thought was a magical cat that walked up to me in the middle of a barn full of cats, and I was like, oh, it's destined to be. No, she's just a hoe. She did that for everybody, which is why Adam says, why is there a paw tattoo on the head of that penis? I know. You'll have to see it when I post it on social media. That's just Nelson. You'll be able to do that. But my mother and I were really into Zelda, the video game Zelda. And so I had always thought about getting a Zelda tattoo for my mom. And so I'm going to incorporate Mom and Zelda together, the cat, because when I finally do that, I got to get a good place for it. But when I finally do that, that'll be, I think I'm going to wait. Now that I'm crossfitting, I think I'm going to wait till I get my boobie smaller, and I'll put it over my hort. Right over here on my hort. It's next to my heart. It's my heart. It's deeper in your heart. You're deep in my heart. That's when you know I care about you. If I put you in my heart. But I'll combine the two of them together after I've CrossFitted this breast away. Oh my God in heaven. So when it came to my little silly, she was my silly little Sammy girls. Sammy girls, always plural, always plural. You're just silly little Sammy girls. I know you talk stupid to your animals, so I don't care. I'll let you in on mine. I said this silly. I said her silliness was only eclipsed by her Samminess. She was named after a video game as well. So she was named after the title character and the first ever female protagonist in a video game. And that would be Samus Aran. Samus from the video game franchise Metroid. I'm just saying. I support women. Okay? I'm here for women in powerful roles. All right? I like them. So my little Sammy girls, she is she was named after a video game character. Ramona, thank you for joining the team on TikTok. Look at that, Ramona, drop it in the heart me. Love that, Ramona. It's a great day. The audience is invested. But here's the thing. Originally, so I've got if you've never seen me, I've got on my right arm, I've got a lower sleeve tattoo. And it's almost completely filled in. There's like one big gap on the side of my arm that rests against my body, so nobody even sees that but me. That's why I want to get it filled in. And then there's just like 1 2-inch strip on the back of my wrist. Like on the front, I guess the inside of my wrist, that goes almost up onto my palm. There's a piece of my tattoo that does that. It goes almost up onto my palm there. It's hard to rotate my arm like that. But I was going to put it in this wrist gap that I had originally. And my idea was I wanted to have her arm wrapped around my arm. Because one of the things that Samus and I would do was I would pick her up and then she would lay on her back in my arms. Gabe on TikTok says, I'm a DILF. Shout out, Gabe. Shout out, DILFing. Finally. Let's talk about cats more. I would lay her on her back, and then I would have my hand go from her tail in between her legs. It just sounds gross when I say in between her legs. But essentially, I made her into a Sammy sandwich. My Sammy Sando. And so the way I would lay my arm across her body, she would stretch out, and then she would wrap her 2 back legs around my arm, and then she would hug my arm with her front paws. And whether it was just because that's how her body was designed and I'm like reading too far into this, I don't care because I felt like she hugged me. And then I would take my 2 fingers and I would rub the sides of her face. And she just loved it. Oh, that was her favorite. In fact, on Instagram at That's Just Nelson, on the post I made for when I had to put her down, I have her laying in my arms one last time. And she's literally doing that. And she's doing it almost in the exact place I was like, hey, I don't care that this clashes, that my lower sleeve's all flame stuff. I don't want to put a cat thing in there. And the thing I love about my buddy Paul, who's one of my, I talk about I've got best friends, right? I think that I've got, to me, God, I'm just going to get myself in trouble. But I would have to say if I had a top 3, it's going to be that are all tied, like a 3-way tie. There'd be an argument for a 4-way tie. But let's go 3-way tie. That'd be a guy named Dennis, a guy named Paul, and Cam, my longtime collaborator and roommate and confidant. Okay. That would be the 3-pronged approach of my best friendom. And then there's a guy, Kyle, who's a nurse anesthetist, but he's actually, in my head, he's a doctor, so I'll text him pictures on my match set because it's funny to me. You're a doctor. You see this all the time. He goes, I do anesthesia, dude. I don't see those ever. And I go, well, you do today. I'll put it in top 4. I got 4 guys, right? These are my 4 guys, my ride or diers. Paul and Dennis both do tattoos. In fact, some of my tattoos, I gave Dennis his first piece of skin. That's how long I go back with Dennis, okay, to high school. And then Paul shortly after that in college, where I met Cam. So, Paul is who I've had doing tattoos since I don't go to the guy that Dennis apprenticed under, because we don't like him anymore. And listen, I liked his artwork, but he's just not that great a dude. So, I'm not going to support that. And that's fine. So, I had Paul early on a couple of years ago. He touched up a piece of work that my original artist had done, and then he added a new piece. I got Icarus falling on the back of my arm here, so he had added that. And so, I hit him up and I was like, "Hey, I want to get a memorial tattoo for my cat, Samus." And he goes, "Okay, well, what's your idea?" First off, he will take it and he'll try and make it exactly what you want, but he also will not let me put something on that's going to look stupid. So he goes, "Look, man, it's white. She's a white cat mostly. She's got a couple of dark spots, but if I put a white cat paw arm, just an arm in that gap there, no one's going to know what it is. For one, you want the cat paw facing up so you can see the little toe beans. Because if you have it facing down, it's going to look like what everybody's already joking that it looks like now, which is a penis." And I go, "You know what? Fair. Where can we put it? How can we make it better?" So he kind of gives me this idea. He goes, "Well, look, think of it like this, like a rabbit's foot, like a lucky rabbit's foot. So we got the cat paw, and then there's the little medallion that it has to attach to, right? So we just have to figure out that." And I go, "Well, is there a way that we can incorporate the video game that her name comes from, which is Metroid?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. Here's what we'll do. We'll put the Metroid, the bad guy, because it's like this little bulb alien with like 3 red dots in the middle of it. We'll make that the medallion. So that's the top of the rabbit's foot. And so it's just right on the way where my elbow bends. And and the other thing that it has that is uniquely my Sammy girls, my little Sammys, is her pink pad. She's got a pink pad. One of the 4 toe beans was pink. And so that's in there as well. And then it's got a piece of this brown spot that she had on her arm. And so I really appreciate the work that Paul did for me today. And shout out Paul at Omega Point Tattoo in Omaha. Paul Schultz Art on Instagram is how you can find him. I'll post some pictures of this too, but really happy about it. Have you heard this one? A shaman, a priest, and your buddy Kyle walk into Burning Man. We'll find that out next.
That's just Nelson.
It's time. What time is it?
It's time. Peanut butter Nelly time. Peanut butter Nelly time.
You're listening to That's Just Nelson.
Yeah, you are.
Come on.
Peanut butter Nelly time.
Let's go.
I'm not supposed to let it play out that long, but it's so exciting to me. I just love peanut butter Nelly time. I don't know why. How about this? A new study finds clergy from major world religions reported profound spiritual experiences and improved effectiveness as religious leaders after taking psychedelic mushrooms. That's absolutely right. Religious leaders who took psilocybin reported it made them more effective at their jobs and deepened their spiritual practices rather than undermining their faith. They're already testing psilocybin and microdosing anyway for mental health. They say that after doing psychedelic mushrooms, it's the same effect as a regular antidepressant over the course of like a week or more. Now, I don't mean to burst anybody's bubble, okay? But there's a prevailing theory in the community that obviously doesn't believe in God, okay? So you take your own stance on it, however you want to do it, whether it was caused by these things or they just allowed you to communicate with the higher power. I don't care how you decide it, right? But according to a Hebrew University professor, Moses got the 10 Commandments because he was stoned. So where he was at on the Sinai Peninsula, there are 2 naturally existing plants that have the same psychoactive components as ones found in the Amazonian jungle, okay? When they put that together, they make a drink called ayahuasca. But what its core component is DMT. And DMT is a wild chemical that is only released in your body like twice. Dimethyltryptamine. And I have heard when it comes to hallucinogenics, right? You think of acid, you think of mushrooms, you think we're going to get banned on TikTok. I already see it. But when you think of these, this one surpasses all of them. Okay. This is like super acid. super acid. So I've heard of stories of people taking DMT like itself. You can smoke it or put it into another form. And I mean, only being affected by it it's like very quick. So it's super fast acting, right? It's like 20 minutes. It could be a little longer than that, depending on what your tolerance and stuff is. This is of the few things that I've partied with, DMT was the only one of the few that I missed. Okay, so I'm only talking about this from the perspective of other people that I know have done it. And so I have heard stories of people saying that in the 10, 20 minutes that they were away, they go to another like universe and live a whole life. Like it's that concentrated that they've lived somewhere else. Then when they come back, it's like Rick and Morty when you play that the game where you become the other guy, and then you like, oh, you made it to the carpet store again? Yeah, no. So this DMT, it's released by your body 2 times. Okay, when you're born and when you die. And they have also said that the effects of the DMT that's released are what possibly accounts for why when people come back, they saw a light, right? And a lot of people want to say, now you're robbing them of my religious experience. Both things can be true. It can be that you only saw the stuff because you were high on ayahuasca, but it could also be that the ayahuasca is putting you in touch with the higher power. I don't have the answers. All I know is that religion is acting like more major religion is starting to act like, oh, this is some new thing we found. No, it's called entheogenics, and it's been around forever. It dates back to the Amazonians, the shamans, the Native American church. The shamans are like they're like Jedi. They've been sipping ayahuasca for centuries. It's like therapy, except the therapist is a vomiting snake made of light who calls you brother. The Native Americans have been taking peyote. They sit in a circle. They talk to God. It's like Coachella, but with less glow sticks. The Mazatec people of Mexico, their sacred mushrooms come with visions, healing, and apparently a better understanding of your ex's weird texts. Stupid. The Siberian shamans, they eat amanita mushrooms, which are toxic. They don't even taste good. I don't know why the hell they would do it. And there's even a church in San Francisco that you can go and get mushrooms at. It's wild. When I was living in Sacramento, they're like, "Oh yeah, you just drive down to San Francisco and you can get yourself in this church," and that's their whole deal. The religion is called being an entheogen. It's an entheogenics, Rising Phoenix Entheogenic Temple in San Francisco. Entheogenic refers to the psychoactive substances used in religious or spiritual context to induce altered states of consciousness. Okay, I tell you what, as a guy who has done a ton of illegal, legal, and otherwise substances, probably the best one. When I say best one, I mean equate to most amount of fun, least amount of hangover, and good feelings that came after it was the mushrooms. Like, I'm never going to do cocaine ever again in my life. I'll never do ecstasy ever again in my life. I can't promise you, old boys, I could get some boomers. Okay. Which, by the way, if you're not familiar with that, that's what before boomer, before they're talking about the generations and okay, boomer, that's how you would text your buddy so that you weren't like texting lingo. So that's the jargon you would use. Dude, you got any booms? I can't promise you. I cannot promise you, and I'm sorry. Okay. And I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry. But I can't promise you that I'm not going to be on that on the boomer again at some point. But yeah, there's a church in San Francisco, the Rising Phoenix Entheogenic Temple in San Francisco, where you can go in and then you can have a religious experience. So how about that? Mushrooms, not just for your brother anymore. Whether it's Jesus, Jaguars, or just your own screaming ego. Somebody's showing up when you're on this DMT, dude. Like, DMT is not messing around. Turns out enlightenment might just come in liquid form. It tastes like, well, dirt. Dirt and, well, we don't need to say it. Exactly. bury the lead. Coming up. It used to be a radio show. Now it's a podcast. Hashtag TU, the number 2, BARS. Your tubers, if you're a fan of this show is called
That's Just Nelson.
Thank you. Kind of turning and burning the episode today, guys, because I got to go pick somebody up from the airport. What mail? I don't have time for interruptions. What's happening? What? How did you do that?
That's so good, right?
Now my live has been restricted for some of the audiences. Now you started listening to hear me talk about all the stuff? It's because I said, it wasn't until I talked about the fact that I can't promise I wouldn't eat them again. Oh my God, look at this picture that Cam made. That's awesome. That's what I'll use for the video clip I pull. That's awesome. Cam, you're so good. Shout out Cam. Training Day is a good movie, Tanner. I saw that you said your daughter's name was Nellie. Love her. Let's get some pictures of me and her just because we're buddies. Nellie and Nellie. Oh my God, that picture was hilarious. Wasn't it, Ramona? Yeah, it is kind of a commercial break. Jules says you're dead. She goes, dead. I know what part you were laughing at there. That's funny. All right. Don't bury the lead. Let's make it happen. Let's not bury it. You know what I mean? Where's the damn intro at?
Don't bury the lead. What you trying to do, don't bury the lead. Just don't bury the lead. What you trying to do, don't bury the lead. Just
You're listening to That's Just Nelson.
Elizabeth Hurley celebrated turning 60 by posting a nude photo in a field. And yeah, she still looks good, which is great for her, but deeply traumatic for her adult son, who has to see the words MILF Goddess trending next to mom between modeling for Estee Lauder, running a swimmer line, and now dating Billy Ray Cyrus. She's basically just doing a victory lap without pants. Big Hollywood nepotism alert. TV Line just dropped the ultimate cheat sheet of Nepo babies. That's famous kids doing the same gig as their parents. You got the Bryce Dallas Howard, Esther McGregor, Sam Nivola. The kids grew up backstage. They're watching award shows. Yeah, they're going to land roles. It's like the performance-enhancing drugs of acting. Breyers, the ice cream guys, they're recalling Rocky Road ice cream that was sold in chocolate truffle cartons. So what you thought was a truffle was actually nuts. And not the kind your buddies flash in the bar for a reaction. Basically, if you're allergic to nuts and you thought you were indulging in dark chocolate sophistication, surprise, you're dead. And a year ago, Haley Welch went to a party during CMA Fest and went viral after a street interview where she suggested that the secret to pleasing a man is to, quote, hock Tua and spit on that thing, which coincidentally is also the official model of Tennessee public schools. She's made over $65,000 in merchandise and even performed on stage with country star Zach Bryan, got herself wrapped up in a crypto scam to boot, all of which proves that in America, dreams really do come true, as long as your dreams involve hocking a loogie on a metaphorical penis. And that's just Nelson. That's how you can find me on social media. Please give a follow, a subscribe if you like. You're only supporting the show to get the show bigger and bigger. 402-302-1005. That's the phone number. You can reach me anytime on that, honestly. It's basically my cell phone number, so don't tell anyone, but tell everybody. And soon to be released, soon to be unveiled to the public, that's just Nelson.com. Of course, available on Apple and Spotify every day. If you would leave a rating, that would be great. I'm not even going to beg you for 5-star. It'd be nice, but I'll just take any rating. Comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. This used to be a radio show. Now it's a podcast. It's about that time where I tell you, take your pills, man. They're working. Better living through pharmacology. You got to keep taking them and check on your happy friends. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
That's Just Nelson. This used to be a radio show presentation.
I'm Penny Nelson.
My name is Rowan Nelson.
Thank you for listening to this show.
Thanks for listening to the show.
Have a good day and have an awesome day.
I love you too.
All right, guys, I got to go. Sorry, Charlie.